Thank you for tuning in to Gloves Off Seattle. Your hosts, Patti and Meagan, will be talking about all things Seattle women's hockey. A huge Pacific Northwest welcome to the PWHL. Gloves Off Seattle! Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.
Gloves Off Seattle.
So it is Sunday, August 2nd.
Third? It's the third.
JK,
Still the third?
it's the third. And so we are going to keep trekking down the theme of our draft picks. So we are on week 5.
5.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about our 5th round draft pick, which her name is Lyndie Lobdell.
Lobdell.
We just watched a video with her saying her name. So we're like, okay, we gotta
get it right.
Yeah, we gotta get it right.
Names
so
are important.
Yeah, names are very important, and we've talked about this on previous podcasts. So what do we know about Lyndie?
Defender. I say defender.
Yes, she is defense or a defender. This is a whole discussion that we've been having lately, guys, and it's about the fact that even in an article about her, they called her a defenseman, which is, I personally think, mildly offensive because she is not a defenseman. If anything, she's a defense woman. But I think we talked about this like early on about how we need to like come up with a better term, and someone said defender, and I like that.
I like defender too.
Yeah. So
She plays defense.
She plays
which is
defense.
very inclusive as well.
Yes, she plays defense, and
That's right.
she shoots right.
Which is not a norm, but we love it.
Well,
Balance.
not a norm for our team. We have a left-heavy team, which is why we've coined the phrase leftatorium, which is not the Simpsons term. That's a different term. I think we talked about that last week too, about how we botched that one, but I made a hashtag, and so here it stands. It's leftatorium.
It's our word. Our word.
Mm-hmm. So she went to Penn State. She's a graduate of Penn State.
Another 5 year.
Another 5-year player because she also was playing during COVID years, and so the COVID year didn't count. So she got to go back for a 5th and final year last year.
Where was she born?
In Aurora, Illinois, which is outside of Chicago.
Right. Outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's another American. So
played U18 with the Americans
and won gold.
Yeah.
Not only played U18, but won gold.
gold.
Yeah. So she's been playing. I think she said she's been playing since she was 4.
Yeah.
So very, very young, obviously. Couldn't find out whether she's from a hockey family or not. There wasn't any information that I could, search out as to whether it looks like maybe there's sisters or cousins via the Instagram accounts, people with the same last name, young, women her age with the same last name as her. So I'm making an assumption it's probably sisters or cousins or something. So don't know if anybody else plays hockey besides her, but she is obviously a very good hockey player. So what do we find out about her career at
Well, we
in
did find out
college?
that yes, she was not a captain of the team, but she was an alternate captain. So we're still in the leadership quality.
Yeah.
And we love that.
Yeah, because we marched down the road of, I think everybody we've drafted so far was the captain of their team, including the goalie, that we drafted, Hannah Murphy. And so it was interesting that this is the first draftee that we've had that was not a full-fledged captain. She was an alternative captain, so
Leader on the bench.
yeah,
Leader in the room.
Brian, we'll put that out there because Brian did let us know after last week that she was not. He was like, spoiler alert, Lobdell wasn't a captain, but she was an alternate captain. So good for her. She obviously worked really hard because she got drafted. So she's obviously a good player. So what else do we know about her?
5'7".
Yes.
So, a little on the taller side, not way up there. What?
I was like the headline that she was like the highest scoring defense person
yes.
at
Penn State.
At Penn State. I almost said
Yes.
UPenn. That would have been, I'm sure that would have been like
Yes.
sacrilege. Penn State.
No.
Sorry.
So very offensive defender.
Right, which is very interesting. I don't know if I don't know if Lily, is because she was defense, right? The fourth
Mm-hmm.
round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't remember what we learned about her scoring record, but that was really interesting. And so I was kind of curious about that because, again, me being the newbie to hockey, it's like, is that a good thing? Do you want your defenders to be high scorers?
I mean, and we had this discussion. You want high score, you want scoring defenders, but at the same time, you want good stay-at-home defenders that you can count on
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
be
wait.
there.
Stay at home. What does that mean?
Stay at home means that you do not go into the offensive zone.
Oh,
You stay back at home by your goalie, which is where your home is. Your
got
home is
it.
in front of the goalie. You need to defend
As a
as a
defender.
defender. You need to stay home and know that if there's a turnover, if the action starts coming down, that you're not going the wrong way, which means you're headed toward, their goal instead of to defend our goal.
Okay. So
So
why would a defender be the highest scoring defender? Like, what's
I
the
mean, they still gather those stats on, you're going to get assists, you're going to score goals, and it happens because, especially, I mean, she probably plays on the power play, which defenders have a little more shot of, scoring on the power play because that's all offense, and you're mostly in the
right?
of offense zone. Offensive zone. That's
Offensive.
offended. I'm offended. But yeah, and
Defense.
so, your defenders are, and I have to stop saying that. I come from the NHL and it's defenseman in my head, but
Yeah, defender.
defenders are going to score. And, like I said, some are more apt to do it than others. Some are ready to jump right into the offense, and others are just be like, you know what, I'm going to stay back here. I'm going to do my job, which is to defend our goal.
And I guess you probably want both.
You do. You do want both.
Okay.
And if it's both on the same line, that's good because you have someone that's always, not always, but for the majority of the time is going to stay back and defend the goal. And the other one, will give them a little bit of just safety, like, oh, I can maybe, go forward now because I know my partner's going to have my back.
Okay. So here's another question. I didn't prep her for this, guys. So who knows what's going to come out of her mouth right now. This is something I hear said, these terms I hear used a lot, and they use the term special teams. And I think I understand that when they're talking about special teams, they mean the line that maybe is specializes for during power play.
During
Like, is
power
that what they
play,
mean?
during penalty kill. Yes, those are the
Okay.
special teams. Power play, one, when you have the extra
Extra person,
person, extra
not person.
player,
Yeah.
and then
Athlete.
penalty kill when you're down a player.
Yeah.
So, in trying to get that jailbreak goal.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's what. So we talk about somebody who may be a higher scoring defender, they might be somebody that we would look at working during
Power play.
the power play.
Power
Right. That's
play.
right. That's during the power play.
Right,
Okay.
because
Okay.
penalty kill, I mean, chances are you're going to be in your own zone
Right.
most
Right.
of the
Right.
time defending
Right.
because
The
they
power
have
play
the
is when
extra
you
guy.
have
You're
power play is when
down.
you have the extra guy.
Power play is when you have the
Right.
extra
Right.
guy,
Right.
so
So you
you're going to
want
be,
you want
you're going to
everybody
be
who can
pushing.
score on the ice. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
That
And
makes sense.
it's a different kind of feeling to be up a man because a lot of times you play up a player.
God,
You play one on
we're
one
gonna
where
work
you're
on this, guys.
you
All
have to.
right.
I mean, I'm older. I'm not going to deny that, and I've been
Well,
on the
but you've
NHL
also been
fan
an
for a
NHL
very
player
long
for a long
time.
time. So it's, you haven't had a women's league to talk about. So now
No.
you do, and we have to shift our perspective.
Yes.
Um, and I'm just going to put this out there, and I'm not going to apologize for it, but our kids are here and they're being very loud. So there's probably background noise on this episode, and it's just going to be what it is. There's no apologies. Like, this is our life. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you guys hear little noises in the back, like, that's what it
It's
is.
our
It's our
boys.
kids. Who knows what they're doing. Hopefully they're not killing each other.
I hear movement.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think they're alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
So
so special teams, like I said, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but just talking about the fact that it is it was a stat that they threw out that she was the highest scoring defense person at Penn State. Like, that was a cool thing. And then to think about, like, okay, why does that matter? Why would you want to know that? Or why would you because of special team play? Like,
yeah,
that's really
yeah.
interesting. Again, it's being
They talk about the quarterback of of the power play unit, which means that they're handling the puck. They're handling the puck. They're shifting it left and right. So they're like in command, and that's usually
a
a
four.
defender.
Oh, it's normally a
And it
defender.
is because you're back on the blue line, and the
Oh,
forwards are pushing in toward the goal, and so that the defender is going to be like shooting the puck to the left wing, shooting the puck to the right wing,
yeah.
and just I mean, you think of a football quarterback throws a football
Yeah.
one time, but the quarterback of the power play is someone who's just going to run the
They're
offense.
going to control the
Yeah,
puck
they're
more.
going to control the
This is
puck.
interesting, guys. I'm a very visual person, and I was just thinking, like, if we were some of these hoity-toity podcasts out there, no, we love you, Jocks and Jills, no problem. We would have like a visual going when she's talking about this, but we're not. We
We have
don't.
no
We don't have
visuals.
that kind of budget.
I
So,
had my hands. If you're
yeah,
watching
if you're
YouTube, I
watching
went to the
YouTube,
left, I went to the right. That's our visual,
no,
and
I was
we
just
worked
thinking,
hard
like,
on
it would
it.
be really cool to see this in like a visual, but I'm like, we don't have that kind of money, so.
No, we don't. We don't.
Hmm. Okay. So this is what we know about Lyndie Lobdell. Again, as we talked about last week, we haven't seen any other signings from any of the draftees. So we only have the first and second. So Jenna Buglioni and Hannah Murphy have both signed. So we know that they're going to be playing with us
Yay.
this season. And I got to meet Jenna Buglioni the other day when she was in town, which was super awesome. And so we don't know. I mean, we don't know. Camp hasn't started yet. So, I'm assuming the draft picks are going to come to camp and compete for a spot if we don't have enough spots for everybody that's invited to camp. So we'll see what happens there. So, because I mean, I don't know, that's all we know right now about Lindy. Like, we don't have any other information because we're not super sleuths. So we did
We did an Instagram
Google,
dive,
Instagram.
Google, and yeah, I mean, we did a little research, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think the thing that we really wanted to talk about, and this was brought up with Lindy, and I'm not, and I don't want, if she's, if you're listening to this, like, please don't, there's no offense taken. Like, I want to just have this discussion in the most open, like, way that we can. And your Instagram profile, like, really, like, brought to light to me, like, Lindy, I would say in looking through her Instagram profile, off the ice is very feminine, like female, like just very feminine in general. Like, let's not even talk about like gay, straight, whatever, who cares? Like, that doesn't even matter. And I just thought that it was just such an interesting juxtaposition between the way she looks off the ice and the way she looks on the ice, and that there's a lot of women that do that kind of code switching, if you want to call it that. There's some that don't, because that's the other discussion is like, there's some of the players wear makeup when they play, which is totally awesome. We were having a discussion about Alana Meyer, the rugby player. If you don't know, I don't know how anybody doesn't know her now, but I mean, she wears lipstick when she plays, and like, how awesome is that? So,
and then there was the whole hair
well,
discussion.
yeah, so that led to we actually had this discussion in a group chat of our PWHL friend fans, and
Oh,
then
family. Those are our PWHL
PWHL family.
family.
There you go. And then it was a discussion that actually happened in a Discord, thanks to Brian, because he brought it up and like a lot of people commented. So thank you, Brian, for like letting us in on that conversation because it's very interesting about why more PWHL players do not have short hair. So, for those who have never watched the podcast before, I have very short hair. Patty has pretty short hair.
Hmm.
A lot of queer women, especially, wear their hair very short.
Sure.
And so, I mean, I'm not going to say it's 50-50, but we think there's a good chunk of queer women who decide to wear their hair short. There are a lot of queer women in the PWHL.
Not a lot of short
I
hair.
mean, one. I can only think of one, literally one. CJ is the only one that I know that wears their hair short.
Hmm.
Like, everyone else has medium to long hair. And so the whole question then is like,
Why?
why? Why? Why are women not wearing their hair short? And it was an interesting discussion.
It was.
Did you read through the whole
I read
thread?
through most of the thread.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean, and it's funny because we had this discussion as well. Like, these are things you never ask NHL players. Like, nobody's talking about their hair. And to me, it's like, is that offensive that we're asking women about, or we're talking about women's hair where we would never talk about that with men? Like, because there's certain questions that, are asked to women in sports that would never be asked to men, that it's
Absolutely.
just, and it's offensive. But I think this is really not an offensive topic because I think it's practical. And there's certain things that come from it, like, do we need to move their name because the
Right. Because the
braid and the ponytail
ponytail, yeah.
covers their name, and we want their names to be known, we want their names to be seen, we want them to be recognized
Right.
and not rewarded, but to be
Name
recognized. Yeah,
recognition. No, no, no. There's something to name
absolutely.
recognition so that, I mean, fans get behind people that they know their names. And so, like, that's a big deal. So, and this like spans to other women's sports too, because we were having this discussion with our niece about the WNBA and how a lot of those players, like, their hairstyle is part of their personality because otherwise they're wearing a uniform, right? And so they can do all of these amazing, beautiful. I mean, have you seen some of these women and the just the beautiful hair they have?
It's amazing.
That and they play that way, obviously, like they play that way. So I think that and they've moved the names down to the bottom of the
Oh, did
jersey.
they
Yeah, I think it's
do it?
underneath. I think the
I
WNBA has
don't
it. I'm
do
pretty
anything
sure
but
they do.
hockey, so
Yeah, the WNBA has the names underneath the numbers on the jersey. So the resounding reason, rationale that people were giving. And I mean, there was enough discussion on this Discord that I believe it's probably true, is that most of the women in the PWHL have longer hair so they can pull it back because it's more practical, but also so they don't have helmet hair, which is another interesting thing that they're thinking about what they're going to look like on camera with their helmet off in between periods after, all that sort of thing. And that and this was my thought process behind that. I'm like, I have never once in my life when an NHL player took his helmet off thought, wow, his hair looks really bad.
no.
I haven't had that thought ever. So
But
it
I mean, I also think that beyond the whole head, helmet
yeah,
hair thing, is that if you have hair that's just like to your neck or to your shoulders, that if it's not easy to pull back in a ponytail, which longer hair is easier to
yeah,
pull back into braid and to keep out of the way, that
yeah,
it's going to come and maybe block your vision and come in and it's going to
it's
be
true.
hard to control it under your helmet.
Well,
So,
someone will wear like a headband too. Like they'll wear like a headband around the top of it and then like because I know Poulin has like she has like, mid
okay.
hair. And so I think she pulls the majority of it back, but then I think she wears like a hair, like a
Hair.
hairband or
Yeah,
something to
yeah.
keep the stuff off her face.
Because I'm sure a lot of it is practical. Like
Right.
we just want it out of the way. And I don't know. I would love to have this discussion and
talk
with
to
players
yeah,
and
talk
say,
to
yeah,
players about it and actually but so here's the other thing that's really interesting because Patty brought this up, which I think is a very valid discussion and all this, and I'm sure there's people out there right now that are thinking this about this discussion is like, why are we having this discussion? Because I just said out loud, I've never once thought about what an NHL player's hair looks like once he takes his helmet off. Why do we care about women's hair? Why are we asking questions about women's hair? And I think the very important discussion that I feel like this is a very important discussion for players to entertain, because if you think about being a young female hockey player, these players are who they're looking up to now. Before they looked to NHL players because there were no, I mean, not that there were no professional women's hockey players, but it was a little far removed. And so now we're getting to a place where these women are just, out in front of them and they're being able to idolize them and whatever
role
and
model.
role model, absolutely. And so, but the question that they're going to have is,
What
what
do
do
I
I
do
do with
with
my
my
hair?
hair?
How do I manage my hair underneath the helmet? And so I think this is a really cool thing that it, as a feminist, like it's a little hard for me to like have the conversation because I'm like, we shouldn't care about their hair. Like it's, why do we care about the aesthetic, blah, blah, blah. And it's really like, it's not even just about the aesthetic to me. It's about like like you were saying, the practicality of it. Like it's more practical for these female hockey players to have long hair because it's more practical for them to pull it back than to have to mess with it otherwise. So
Mhm.
it's just
And
a
possibly block your view and
right, and they get
cause
in
you
the
not to
yeah,
score a
and they get
goal.
in the
Like
way.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
gets in the way of scoring a goal is bad.
But you were also telling the story, which this is really funny, and I'm sure there's a lot of NHL fans out there that will remember this. They're the last hockey player. You
The
go
la
ahead and tell the
the
story.
last hockey player that was grandfathered in, I shouldn't say that,
NHL, the
yeah,
last
in the
NHL.
NHL. The last one that was allowed to go helmetless, Craig McTavish. I mean,
When
he
was that?
had,
How long
oh
ago?
gosh, it was when I got into the league
So in
and
the
that was
90s.
yeah, yeah, 94, 93, 94, 95. Got to be somewhere there because I mean that was the playoffs and I saw him after that, so maybe 95. Anyway, he was had a do going and it was always I mean it was
Fluffed and
never
buffed.
messed up. I mean maybe a little sweat but no, he looked good. His hair looked good and I think part of that was like he wasn't going to have any helmet hair and yeah, he wore the no
Hairspray.
helmet. I'm sure. I'm sure there was
He had a
time.
helmet of hair.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't make him wear a helmet because they thought his hair would protect him. No, I'm
It
kidding.
didn't.
I'm
No.
kidding.
Yeah. So that was yeah, I that stuck in my mind. The only player I knew that didn't never wore a helmet.
Yeah.
So
I think the discussion is like we are in support of players, obviously looking and being whoever they want to be. So Lindy, I'm so glad that you have an ultra feminine persona. I think you describe yourself as cute and casual. So whatever that means, like I think it's awesome to have whatever persona, whatever aesthetic you want to have off the ice or on the ice too. Because like that's the other thing is like I said, like I know that there's players out there. I mean, we have a couple fashion queens on, on our team that I know will have. I mean, if they'll have some kind of makeup on during the game, which is, I mean, if that makes you feel good about yourself, like holy
Go
cow,
for
more
it.
power to you, right? So I just want to, I think it's an interesting discussion, and I don't want to, I don't, it's not, I hope it's not degrading to any of the players. Like it's not meant to be. It's just meant to be a discussion about, especially as women, how we can flex this. We can flex our, flex our personality and do whatever we want to do on or off the ice, right? Well, I don't play hockey, so I do it off the ice. I don't do it on.
She does wear makeup sometimes.
I do wear makeup. They've seen me in makeup before. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you watch
Maybe.
if you see us on social media, you probably see me in makeup, but
Yeah.
I
You've
don't ever
never
wear
seen me in
makeup.
makeup.
I don't wear makeup for the podcast.
Once, didn't you? Or you
Maybe,
like
I don't
a little
know.
bit after or
Maybe, I don't
something?
know. It's
But
just
it doesn't matter if
no.
you wear makeup or you don't wear makeup, or if you have long hair or you have short hair, or why you have long hair or why you have
Yeah.
short hair, or why you want to shave your head or you don't want to shave your head.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't matter. And I think we just need to empower women to be who they are and to be comfortable in every aspect of that.
Yeah. And like I said, I think the only reason why the discussion is important about why these athletes do what they do is because it then inspires athletes,
Kids.
yeah, the young athletes to look up to them that might say, "Oh, I mean like even like talk about diversity, like oh my goodness, like little, black and brown girls, like what do I do with my hair under a helmet?" Guess what? We've got some players in the league that have hair that they can identify with. And anyway, I think I think it's an important conversation because I think we, obviously as huge fans of women's sports, of women's hockey, like we need to inspire the next generation because we're going to be watching these kids in 10, 15
We
years. You know
are.
what I mean? We're going to
We
be
will
cheering them
be.
on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will be in our season tickets,
Yeah.
our season seats, watching those girls. Was that a bumblebee or was that a
I
wasp?
think it was a lot.
Okay. I'm worried. I ordered two wasp nests or hornet's nests for my friend, the
Okay,
fake
wait. I
one.
know we've talked about this before. We literally look out into our backyard, and
Hmm.
so we can see that's she's watching the backyard, and there's a wasp.
Yeah. We have to be vigilant.
So she, are we gonna tell the podcast? Anyway, we'll tell you. She ordered knitted wasp nests because I guess this is a thing. If you put up a knitted wasp nest into the eaves where the wasps are,
Other wasps will not nest there.
they
They
won't make
won't
nests
compete.
because they won't compete. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have knitted wasp
Thanks,
nest
Debbie.
I
Love
have
you.
up into the eaves of our house.
I
Okay.
think one on this side, one on that side. I got
Okay,
two
okay. These
coming.
people do not care. They did not come here to hear about wasp nests.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Pro tip, there you go. PNW homeowner pro tip, get a knitted wasp nest. I don't know. What else? Do we have anything else to talk about this week?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So Lindy, we are very excited to have you. As we say to everyone, we think you're going to love the PNW. Being from
We love it.
Chicago, our summers are so much better than Chicago summers. As two people who've been to Chicago a bunch, I have, family that lives there and you have lots of friends that live there. We spent a lot of time in Chicago. I don't want to be in Chicago in the summertime. It's flipping hot. So
Steamy.
you will love it here. It is beautiful here all year round, not just the summertime. So we're excited to have you. Excited to meet you
Can't wait to see you on
soon.
the
Yeah,
ice.
see you on the ice. Absolutely. So before our children kill each other, as I'm sure you can probably hear in the background right now, we are going to end this week's podcast. So
Wish us well,
yeah,
please.
big things coming, guys. We'll just, I'll put that out there. We've got some exciting things coming up, but next week will be our 6th round draft pick. So we're gonna complete this not episode
Okay.
series.
Series. Yeah. Series.
We're gonna complete this series next week of draft picks, and then I think the week after that we're gonna talk about coach, which we haven't done yet. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about Steve O'Rourke. So anyway, that's it.
That's
everything.
today's episode.
Okay, everybody have a good day.
Yes. See you soon.
Bye. And that's the show. Tune in next time for another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.